Counter-Strike 2 has been out for 1 year now, and we are going to talk about everything you need to know in order to take advantage of the meta, understand how we can dominate in this game, because there is a ton of differences from CSGO, obviously, and even when CS2 first came out, that we can understand how we can play more like players like Donk and some of the stars of this game. We're going to get you guys feeling very good. As always, we provide lots of guides and tips on this channel that will take you to your next level, so let's get right into it. So the first thing that you guys need to understand is hiding in corners and sitting still is generally not what you want to do in this game, right? Now, I don't want you to be silvers and be making noise around the entire map. That's definitely not effective. That's not very good to be doing. But in general, there's a lot of times where players get stuck and they just sit in one corner because they're scared to move. Maybe they haven't developed the mechanics enough to feel comfortable with any movement. But the worst mistake that you can make is literally just like not moving at all, taking your hand off the keyboard and just like trying to rely on your mouse aim. This is very bad for many reasons, and we're going to get into that. But first, I have to give you a message from the sponsor of today's video.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, COJO. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description.
As I was saying, holding still and not having any inputs besides your mouse is very bad. Now, why is that so bad? Because say you're just playing default without having your hand actively on your keyboard and just sitting there. And yes, you're not in a corner, you're in one angle right here. But still, essentially, you're putting yourself in a very linear position where it makes it so easy for the other team to kill you, right? If this guy's coming out of Palace and you're not moving at all, you're just trying to click mouse one, it's like he gets to play aimbots and you have to fight a moving target. Now, I want you to think about something. Is it easier to hit a moving target or a sitting target? This is something I have to remind myself when I'm playing angles, because sometimes I just want to sit in a corner and not move, right? But most of the time, like 95% of the time, it pays off to at least have a little bit of movement no matter what you're doing, just so that you're not super linear and playing in a two-dimensional game, right? If you're just sitting in one spot, it's almost like you're a poster on the wall and they get to just go through and boom, dead, boom, you know. But when we're actually moving around and running, we take advantage of the three-dimensional space and allow ourselves to be a much harder target. So as I was mentioning, this is the difference between like a lower level player just sitting here and doing nothing like this and just waiting, and a higher level player kind of throwing in some movement here where he gets to kind of throw his player model off a bit. These little micro jiggles mean everything, especially when players have pistols and they're trying to one shot, you know, specifically like deagles if they're on a low buy. Guys, you're gonna get absolutely one digged if you're just sitting in a angle like this with it, especially with a rifle, right? When we're opping, we can get away with this because we have the one shot gun, right? So we need to hold still so that we don't have that inaccuracy. But when we have rifles and pistols and SMGs and any of these other guns, it always pays off to have at least a little bit of movement, so that, you know, even if we do want to crouch on this angle, we're shifting back and forth with A and D, right? A and D. We always want to be able to do that. No matter what angle we're holding, it's so valuable because these little micro adjustments mean everything. The only time you should really be like hardcore hiding is when you are in some crazy power positions. I'd say sandwich, if you don't get mollied out, is a very good one to be in. But even then, I'm still kind of like actively like micro jiggling a little bit. I'm not trying to go super much because like if they're in Palace, they see me. But these are kind of like the only times you should be hardcore hiding. I'd say like, you know, if you're boosted up here on Firebox too, is a good place to literally just like sit. And what are we doing though when we are just purely sitting still for that 5% of the time? We are listening. Listening in these situations is huge. We might not be actively moving around with our feet and stuff, but we're actively listening and we're going like hardcore at that. So I'm just like trying to think, and I'm trying to picture and visualize what's going on. Do I hear a guy jumping out here? Do I hear people running up catwalk? You know, and we're trying to, in our brain, visualize where the closest enemies are and where the group is, right? So that way we can effectively make a plan and visualize the fights before they even happen, right? If you're just waiting for someone to peek you before you visualize, that's not visualizing, that's just like reacting. We don't want to react, we want to be proactive and think about ways we can be engaging, right? Same thing here on B site. a little tip I'll give you is one of the coolest ways to jump spot, and this kind of goes back to our first point of staying active and moving around and having a moving target. If you're gonna jump spot, guys, this is the old-fashioned way, right? The new way to jump spot B is to sit on this van ledge and sit here and be crouched, uncrouched, crouch, uncrouch. Again, we're just moving our player model, being hard to hit, and also we're fully accurate. So when they do come into apps eventually and they come out here, we pop up and it's so easy for us, right? So understanding these little gimmicks, these tricks is everything. But then also one of the most valuable things that you can do is staying dynamic. Now I'm gonna personally shout out my teammate Gabe. Gabe plays for me, or Gabe plays on my team, and we've faced off against every top level team here in North America. One of the things he is very talented at is playing this under Belk and top Belk position here on Mirage. Why is he so good at that? Because if the other team starts execing and coming out, he might take his first fight here, duck around, silently go up the ladder fast, try to isolate palace fights, get that kill, maybe take a few shots, and then come right back down and keep isolating these fights and just going up and down, up and down. From their perspective, they don't know if he's swinging the top or the bottom. And then also he is so talented at it. He might get a kill, and as soon as he gets the kill, he's insta flashing, maybe making noise and doing like just crazy stuff like this, right? Where he's flashing, dropping smokes, being active. But I bring this up because this is how I want you guys to play. If you are a rifler and you're in any of these positions, it is so valuable to be able to shift and move around and change your angle and do all these crazy things, flash, all kinds of stuff, guys. If you're isolating fights out ramp here, from default, you get the first kill like this. Maybe you come back here, take those fights, jump up on top of this box and go crazy, right? Just isolate these fights, do these things, and stay active. Stay active. That's what that means. Staying active literally just means moving around and being hard for the other team to understand what you're gonna do next. It's so great when you're active, right? For us that op, staying active is like we get a pick mid, we run around, maybe we go pick up B. Now we're upping on this B site, killing that guy and then running back around doing these things. That's being active as an opper. But as a rifler, we can be just as good at that, right? We've talked about aggression on this channel before on CT side, but it's just as valuable to be able to be shifty, to move around, because like I said, it's just the difference, right? This is how like bad players will play. They'll be jump spotting here, which they're like, bro, I'm jump spotting, that's a good thing. And that is, right? They jump spot, they see somebody, and then they just come here and like sit on an angle. And why is also sitting on an angle so bad? Because guys, all it takes is one flash to completely ruin your plan. If your plan is literally just to sit on an angle and wait for someone to come out, you're already losing, because as you rank up and get better and better, you're just going to get blinded, you're going to get mollied, naded. You're way too predictable with what you're doing, right? Even if you're in like power positions like this, these power positions when you're up here mean nothing if you're not setting yourself up in the prior rounds to actually succeed there and farm, right? Which goes into conditioning, which I'm sure we can make a video again talking about conditioning specifically. But that's like the bad way, right? Just going to an angle. The best way to play is like, oh, they're coming out B. We drop a smoke, you know, and either we play behind it or we feel it out, and maybe we actually play in front of it. So a lot of times there'll be a molly here, you know, get some kills, shift around, jump back through, bench, isolate these fights now as they're running through, try not to get spammed. You know, play here, shoot the top of this if we hear people up there, and just run around and be active. Or alternatively, instead of throwing this smoke, we drop this smoke down and we play even more passively up here, right? We play passively up here and we sit and try to farm people as they're coming out and, you know, do these kind of things. There's so many different ideas we can do across the map, across the board. There's so many different ways to play this game, but I want you to stay active, because if you're playing super passively in CS2, you're just setting yourself up for failure, right? So yeah, hopefully this video helped out some of you guys. It's a problem I see even level 10s struggling with, so you know, there's a lot of value in this. It's not just for newer players, but especially if you guys are newer, this is very helpful and great to understand. I have so many different videos on this channel, guys. We talk about pretty much every single topic in this game when it comes to player development, getting better. I love to see the people in my comments, people watching these videos grow and get better. My dream is that all of you guys are level 10, all of you guys can play to your highest ability. But yeah, appreciate every single one of you. If you want to help me out, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. Leave a comment down below, and let's keep farming, let's keep grinding. And I have some exciting news about potentially some more channels, more content, more fun, more coaching in the future. So appreciate every single one of you guys. Stay tuned for that. I'll catch you all later. Peace out. Peace out.